Today I've got our testimonial lad with me, James Simpson-Daniel. I was also meant to have Johnny May, but Johnny's been called in to warm up just in case. So it'll just be James and myself. James, we've got to ask you first of all, the right ankle doesn't look too good. How's progress?
Sorry. Yeah, it's a little bit frustrating for me at the moment. I injured it thinking, you know, I've got a really bad injury here, getting stretched off, to then thinking it could only be 2 or 3 weeks, you know, a lot better than we first thought, and it didn't get a lot better in the first week, so we scanned it, and it showed there was a little bit of damage there, so they had a look inside it, and I think they gave it a little bit of a clean up. It could have been so much worse than it was. So this boot is annoyingly on for a month, and then get it off and get on with doing the recovery and the rehab.
Well, obviously we wish you well with that. In the meantime, it of course gives you some time to concentrate on your testimonial. Tonight, a big night, Cheltenham Racecourse, 500 for dinner, is it?
Yeah, caterers are working hard as we speak. We've had a huge amount of support from everyone for tonight. There's always this fear that maybe you might not get the numbers that you hope for, but I think within the last 24 hours there's been some people trying to ring up to get tickets, but they just haven't been able to do it. It's too late notice. So I'm very lucky to have had the support that I have. I'm really looking forward to, you know, I want the guys to win today, and then this evening they could let their hair down and enjoy tonight as well.
Cheltenham Racecourse, your second home, and no, it's fair enough. I also understand you've got an event lined up for the Hunter Chase evening later in the season?
Yeah, we do. As soon as I got this injury, I thought 2 to 3 weeks, and I went into the club and all the boys abused me, basically saying, you know, you've used this injury a month early, haven't you? Cheltenham's not until next month. And then actually they found out it was a little bit worse than first thought, and they went easy on me. But yeah, we're doing that evening at Cheltenham. It'll be you know, it's always a fun evening. I've been to that meeting several times, and it's just something a little bit different. It'll be quite light-hearted, come down, enjoy the racing, or we might do a little, the committee are talking about doing a little question sport type event as well off the back of that, so looking forward to that too.
Fantastic. And whilst we have the racing theme then, how's your horse doing these days?
You would have to bring that up, wouldn't you? The horse is a lot like I am. I found out the other day that he was doing some work, ready to run, and then he came a little bit late. So I get the phone call, and I'm sat next to Nicky, who's he owns a leg as well. I think he owns one of the good legs. And Nicky basically wears his heart on his sleeve, as everyone knows. I think he just slammed his boots down when I told him it was late, and just stormed out the change room. But no, it's just taking a rest at the moment. I'll be running in a few weeks. Even though Nicky wanted to go to Dubai, then win the Grand National, and possibly the Gold Cup. So let's see how we go.
Pity the horse is too old to go to Derby as well. Finally, on your testimonial, a very fetching T-shirt. You've got 1 or 2 on sale. How do people get them, and can they get your autograph on them if they wish?
Yeah, absolutely. The committee have set up a table down the bottom corner. They've got brochures and T-shirts down there. I'll be going through to the crew zone as well shortly, and they'll be around there. And I'll be back and forth throughout the day, and hopefully afterwards I'll be in one corner again with one as well.
Well, best of luck with every testimonial. I think you deserve it. That turns out to be everything that you want. Let's turn to rugby matters. Firstly, a personal matter. Recently, you put paper, signed up with Gloucester for another 3 seasons, I think. You obviously had alternatives. Was your heart ever really leaving Gloucester?
If I'm honest, I always wanted to stay. It was only about 2.5 side, but I think the fact that I'm in my 11th year as it stands now, I've always wanted to stay. I was almost trying to be enticed to go elsewhere. You know, certainly everyone knows what the situation is in France. They've got a lot of money. Their salary cap is very different to the English clubs. I did go and have a look at one of the French clubs. and as much as they made me feel welcome, everyone was called Laurent, so it was easy on the name front. They made me feel really welcome in the area, but I just didn't feel. I went to the change rooms and I came away, I said, I feel like I was cheating on a girlfriend at school or something. You just don't feel comfortable there. And for me, people say, well, that's just change, it's the way it is. But I didn't want that. And the best decision I ever made was the relief that we had the night that we said, look, we're going to stay. And I told Brian knew that I went to France to have a look. And the best feeling we had was when me and my wife had said, look, we're staying now 3 years. And we were so happy that night. It was a good feeling.
I think most of us were happy too, weren't we? Let's talk on the field now, James. I've had a couple, as a fair few people here will have, very disturbed trips back from places like Newcastle and Leeds on New Year's Day, when quite honestly the discussion in the car was we're lucky to finish in the bottom 6. What has changed? Has anybody been able to put their finger on why the side is perhaps now performing to the way in which they ought to perform?
I don't think we can just give a definitive answer to that, because if we could, we would be losing these matches. I think it feels like a long time ago since Exeter away, doesn't it, when we performed so badly on the field, and that was really disappointing for us, because we had a very good pre-season, performed well in those matches, and then we were so disappointing against Exeter, who were a very dogged side. They were very tough, and I felt that we missed some chances that day. But I don't know if it's turned the corner now, but we managed to do that. We've got to make sure we keep on winning 50-50 matches if we're going to be in the top 4 at the end of the season.
And 50-50 matches, and I'm sure a few Bath supporters in, welcome lads and lasses. They're probably looking upon it that this is a chance to close the gap. We're looking that it's a chance to open up the gap. A couple of bad results and you can be out the top 4 again.
Yeah, exactly. So, Bath have been playing some great rugby this season. I think we've all seen that. There's no excuses today. Conditions are going to be perfect for both sides. Bath want to play rugby. That's fairly obvious. And so do Gloucester. We've said all along, we're learning how to win the matches where the ball's a little bit slippy. Maybe the pitch might not be great around Christmas, but the pitch is fine today. As I say, the weather conditions are good and both sides want to play rugby, so there's no big excuse. And I think if both sides perform to their ability, we're in for a close contest, but I'm bound to say, I believe, I hope that we've got enough on the day to enough firing power, and we can get good ball from the forwards, play in the right areas, maybe get a couple of penalties and a try, then we can be the dominant winning side.
Yeah, and can we have those penalties and tries just before half time so that we all have a 10-minute, 15-minute rest? But after this, it's a big month, it's March. Clearly you're not going to be involved, but LV Cup semi-final next week, and then hopefully a chance to put the pain of the last 2 years behind us at Northampton the following week. Yeah, exactly. One game at a time. But we've got a great opportunity to win the semi-final at home in front of our crowd. And then if you do that, anyone can win a final. That's the thing. Anyone, we've seen it in the league. Bottom side can beat top. That can happen. But if we can get that semi-final win, there's then an opportunity to lift some silverware. And people might say it's not the best cup in the world, but look at the way we celebrated last year by Northampton. Everything, any cup now is hard to win. So you'll take what you can get. If I can finish by touching on perhaps a subject that may not be too close to your heart. The injuries come up again. Internationals on the horizon at the moment. Do you still foster hopes that you could still break into the World Cup squad? I think I need things to go my way. I need injuries to go my way. And sure that I'm fit and playing well, and if there were injuries, there's guys ahead of me in the order. I think obviously there's Banahan who's still there, there's Strettle. I need a couple of these guys to get injured, and then for me to be fit, take an opportunity. That's the only way I might a lot. I'm not trying to be negative about it, I'm just trying to be a bit of a realist about it. One final question, and we wish you luck with that, and I'm sure all of us, whether you're Bath or Gloucester, think at least that you've probably got about a fifth of the England caps that you really ought to have, and we wish you well for the future years. But if I can look upon you now as an established player, I won't say an older player, the youngsters that we've got coming through, and we saw Johnny May absolutely scintillating at Northampton last week, is this possibly the best set of youngsters we've had in your time here?
Yeah, it definitely is. These guys are, you know, you mentioned Johnny there. Johnny is, he wouldn't look as quick as Charlie. Charlie's on the head bob when he sprints, but I think Johnny's, you know, in 100 metre sprint, I think Johnny's got him as far as speed goes. He's a great athlete. He's young, and he's got to learn, you know, he's got to learn how the game works. Charlie's done that the last few years, and I think, as he pointed out, to have these youngsters coming through, putting pressure on us old men is fantastic for the future of the club. And you know, I remember when I first started, I was a young guy down here, and you're trying to put pressure on Tom Lyme, and if you can keep these youngsters in one piece, and you can develop them in the way that they're showing with their potential now, you know, again, I'm not just sure Gloucester should be pretty bright.
Yeah, and thankfully you've signed to be part of that bright future. Can I finish then by simply saying the best of luck with the testimonial. Don't forget, T-shirt and James at the other end of the bar. Good luck with the injury, and good luck for the team for getting silverware. James Simpson-Daniel, everyone.